Yo, what's happening, people? It is King Titan X here, back with another video. But this video is a bit special, a bit more special than the last video, because, well, we reached 200 subscribers, baby. We reached 200. 200. And you know what I'm going to do for this 200 subscriber special? I am going to do this what if. What if the Saiyans listened to Bardock? Or what if Bardock convinced the Saiyans? Now, here's the thing about this what if. Not too many YouTubers actually have done this sort of specific what if. This is something that has actually confused me. You guys have such a great opportunity, but you mean to tell me that only a couple YouTubers, you can just barely even count it on one hand, the amount of YouTubers that have actually really done this sort of what if. But you know what? I'm gonna add myself to the equation. What if the Saints listened to Bardock? And I'm talking about the original Bardock, not Dragon Ball Zero, not the Dragon Ball Zero Bardock. So essentially, here's how this story is going to go. Bardock still has his visions. His team still dies. But here's the kicker though. Rather than trying to convince the Saiyans through just blabbering about how Frieza is going to kill off all the Saiyans and just have them laugh at him and all that. Rather, he's going to go directly to King Vegeta's palace. Yeah. He challenges Vegeta for the throne. King Vegeta. Now, of course, the king laughs at Bardock at first. But Bardock is not laughing. Bardock is extremely serious here. He had already sent off his son to planet Earth, thinking that, he'll probably be safe. He'll probably be safe there. Now, when King Vegeta sees that he's serious about it, he actually arises from his throne and takes off his cape, saying that, alright, you low-class Saiyan, since you want to challenge me for the throne, let's go at it. This is actually a very tough battle for Bardock. But here's another thing. King Vegeta, unlike the rest of the Saiyans, he wasn't really going off-world, really training, really fighting off different races. He wasn't doing any of that. He was mainly making commands for the Saiyan army in the name of Frieza. But due to this, he wasn't really getting all that powerful, while Bardock was continuously getting stronger. This was something that was even noticed by some of the Saiyans, how Bardock was becoming increasingly stronger. After every single fight, he always came back near death, but whenever he healed, it was like he had an exponential boost, even more than the regular Saiyan. He would constantly let himself get into so many near-death experiences that it was just ridiculous. People still saw him as a low-class Saiyan, though. Yeah, so people still saw Bardock as a low-class Saiyan because that was just how he was born. Most Saiyans always believed that if you were born a low-class Saiyan, you would never be able to rise up to such a high rank, such as an elite. This was where Bardock ended up proving King Vegeta wrong. King Vegeta was one of those people who believed that. Bardock was able to clash with King Vegeta, and Bardock was able to get multiple hits in. He was actually quite fast, and he had more combat experience. He had racked up more combat experience than King Vegeta had in the last 20 years, honestly. King Vegeta was amazed by this Saiyan. He was he was actually being bested by this Saiyan, this low class Saiyan. He absolutely hated it. He ended up using dirty tactics, but Bardock was able to catch on immediately, being able to go hand to hand with King Vegeta using dirty tactics as well in order to get the advantage. Both of them fought dirty. Both of them, when they were finally finished, they were both bloody to the floor. But when it came on to King Vegeta, he was the one that was on the ground. He was on the ground back first. He was essentially Katakuri in the sense that he had fallen on his back. Sorry for those who don't even watch One Piece. But anyways, yeah. Basically what ended up happening afterwards was that Bardock put his foot on King Vegeta's chest and formed a ki blast, ready to shoot it at King Vegeta, representing that it was King Vegeta's defeat. King Vegeta growled. He didn't want to admit defeat. He would try and try in order to get the advantage again. But, well, Bardock ended up just kicking him until he was unconscious afterwards, solidifying that King Vegeta was no longer the king. Bardock was now the king of the Saiyans. Afterwards, Bardock actually did something. This is where it really starts to come in. This is where the what if really starts to appear. Bardock orders for the Saiyans to start getting ready to leave the planet. Get ready to leave planet Vegeta. They were going to head off to Earth. Earth was one of the few places that Frieza would never expect for Saiyans to be there. Frieza basically would never expect for a Saiyan to land on Earth, because that was such a backwater planet. It was one of the weakest planets, honestly. And that's exactly why Bardock wanted to go to planet Earth, on top of the fact that that was where his youngest son was going to be. He wanted to see how exactly his son would develop as well. He had actually had a vision of his son Kakarot. He was actually standing next to Frieza. Not standing next to, but standing parallel to Frieza. He had this golden aura and this golden hair. Was this supposed to be Super Saiyan or something? All Bardock really knew was that there was something special about his son Kakarot, and he was going to investigate it. He was going to figure out the bottom of this. He was thinking that, okay, maybe, just maybe, that my son may be the hope for the Saiyan race. So he figured that he may as well bring the Saiyans along with him, so that the Saiyans may survive, and on top of that, he'll be able to train his son, so that they would be able to finally take down Frieza. At their current level, they were far too weak to even hold a candle to Frieza. But if his son seemed to be that special, if he could actually train his son to become strong enough to actually go against Frieza, then it would be a completely different story. Especially with that form he had seen in that vision. He had seen his son all grown up. He had imagined that this would be what was going to happen if he had trained his son. If all of the Saiyan race were to train his son, this is probably what was happening in his vision. This is this was what would happen after all the Saiyans actually put their joint efforts into training the boy. Now, a lot of the Saiyans were confused at first when Bardock said for them to leave planet Vegeta and go to Earth, such a backwater planet. Like the strength of the people there, it was not even close to a low class Saiyan, and that was really saying something. Even the weakest of the Saiyans could honestly conquer the whole race. But Bardock wanted nothing of that. He didn't care about their opinions. He ordered them to do as he said. He was the new king after all. The Saiyans didn't like Bardock's orders, but they begrudgingly agreed. They begrudgingly agreed. They started to set coordinates for Earth and gather resources in order to leave planet Vegeta. Now, I'm not sure how long it really took for them to reach. I'm not really sure how long it took for Goku to reach Earth, but let's say it took a month. Bardock would make sure that the Saints would set up distractions for Frieza in order for him to not realize what was actually going on behind the scenes. Because he knew that if Frieza ever caught wind of this, that was it. The whole Saiyan race would be exterminated right then and there. So for that whole month, they were just playing mind games with Frieza. And being able to just do whatever, honestly. You guys really think about it. You guys can probably think of something. Tell me in the comments below. If this actually does well, please let this do well. But after a month's notice, Bardock and the whole Saiyan race actually managed to land on Earth. This is where things really start to take a turn, because as soon as they land on Earth, Bardock goes looking for Kakarot. Once he finally finds his son, he sees that he's with this old man. Bardock asks a couple questions, and Bardock actually decides to spare this man's life because he was actually taking care of his child while he was gone. Bardock appreciated that and told the Saints to leave this man alone because he was actually the one to take care of his child while he couldn't. Afterwards, the Saints started to conquer Earth. They saw it as a way in order to really preserve the race and to actually thrive. They took over the planet and probably, like, honestly, a couple of days. Even that may be giving the humans a bit too much credit. But let's say it took the Saints a couple of days. They were also a bit lazy while doing it as well. None of Earth's forces could really compete against any other Saiyans at the time. Once the planet was conquered, that was when Bardock actually was satisfied. He looked at his son. He looked at his baby Kakarot and rubbed his head. He planned to make a ruthless warrior out of Kakarot. As months would go by, the Saiyans actually started to discover more and more about Earth, more about their technology, and just their history in general. The Saiyans really started to reconsider Earth because of just how fantastic it was. All these secrets that the Earth held, especially when it came on to this Dragon Ball stuff. You see, what ended up happening was that Dr. Briefs, Dr. Brief's daughter, Bulma, they had actually encountered her while she was on a journey to gather the Dragon Balls.